Hello and welcome to the Emotionally Booked podcast, where we talk about the books that we are currently reading and how they are emotionally affecting us, helping us, nourishing us, all the things. So welcome, and I hope you enjoy this book podcast for today, and a little short review and minimal spoilers for the books that we are going to be talking about. And books plural, yes, because I believe that I just got to give a shout out to this little, I know there's more written by this author, Sarah Durst, and so I haven't read all of them yet. So these are the first ones that I have read, and I don't have the physical book. I read them on Kindle. I read one on Kindle, and I'm listening to, to one on audio. So I don't have the physical book to have here and show you, which I would so love because they're so gorgeous. But I'll make sure to put some little, hopefully I can insert some little clips of what they look like. They are The Spell Shop and The Enchanted Greenhouse. And this is such a fun one, I feel like, to have an emotional podcast about, because how do I explain, when my genre of reading, I've explained before that I love is fantasy, high fantasy. Like I really do like a good world build and a good plot and story, and I just love to dive deep and to get really into the nitty gritty and have a big series. It's great, but it can get a lot. Fantasy reads can be quite a bit, and they can be super heavy at times. The world building can be a little daunting. I know I've taken notes before just to make sure that I've understood what I was reading, all the things. So it can get quite heavy. And so I have, I know that genres of, how do I put it, real life that can really truly happen, fiction, but can really truly happen, kind of affect me emotionally just a little bit more. So I tend to lean toward like a romance, like if I want to clear the palate, I pick up a cute little, either a cowboy romance or a sports romance where I know that it's going to be a happy ending and it's going to be good and all those things. And that's what I do, like as a palate cleanser. And I will say, I didn't know that there was at first, there was this little corner of the fantasy world that was like a mixture of the two. It was a mixture of the fantasy, but that safe, happy ending, one book, wrapping up little series. There's so many that I love that are, I believe the genre would be called like a cozy fantasy, something that is short, like it's one book, happy ending. There's not all that, I mean, there's world building, but it's not intense. It's, the plot is like one of those cozy romances that we read, that I read to get, my mind kind of cleansed, the palate cleansed. And my first introduction to this kind of genre was The Spell Shop. And to say that it was a breath of fresh air is an understatement, because I was so into, like, when I started my reading journey 3 years ago now. Oh goodness, yeah, 3 years ago. I was really, into the big series, the 5-book series, the 6-book series, I was really in it, like the big ones and all the world building and all the big the big ones that you know and hear about and all that kind of thing. And the palate cleansers for me, like I said, were the romances and the ones that I could just guarantee a happy ending. And while they're super sweet and super easy to read, not my favorite. You know, I still love fantasy. I love a world where there's a little bit of make-believe and a little bit of whimsy and the things that are just fantastical. That's what I really I love to pieces. So when I will say, I didn't hear at the time what the spell shop was about. I didn't know what it was about, and I just was thinking, oh, maybe it's going to be a new fantasy series. I didn't look up like what it was considered. Honestly, I judged the book by the cover. The cover was beautiful. And so I said, okay, I'm going to read that one because it's so pretty. It's gorgeous. And usually we say, don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm so glad I did. I'm glad I picked it up and said, you know what? Let's just do this because this book is just gorgeous, pretty. And I had seen it in the store at first, and it was so gorgeous. And I think the one had like a purple, the pages were purple, so pretty. And so I looked it up and I got it on ebook. And so I ended up reading it that way. And I feel so like, oh, I should have gotten that book because it was so pretty. And the breasts are so pretty too. They're just gorgeous. And me, who loves, you know, plants and all the things like flowers, like that's what drew me to the covers, because they were just so visually stunning with the backgrounds of the forest and the flowers and all the things. And yes, please. So when I started reading the book, I was so pleasantly surprised to be like, oh, I didn't know this genre existed. This genre of, it could still be fantasy, it could still have the whimsy, it could still have all the little magical things, but there was very low stakes in it. Like, I wasn't worried that there was going to be some huge war, huge battle, huge thing, you know, and these huge conflicts. It was like the simple conflicts, and yet it brought, I will say the emotion for this is that it brought so much joy. Like, such a fun way to kind of like stay in your genre, but have this really cute, whimsical, just pieced the story to just kind of carry you through, you know, just to keep that whimsy in your life of the fantasy world. It was just superb. It's superb. So if you love fantasy and maybe you're in a big series and you just need to take a break, because I've done that before. I was in a series and the book was just really heavy. The book was really, really heavy. It was really good. The content was really heavy. And so I had to tell myself, okay, you need to step back and read something that, you know, just to kind of give you a little hope for, like, you know, because the characters were going through a lot and you just kind of had to take a break, a breather. And I usually don't like reading multiple books at the same time, just because my brain is one, like, it's usually all over the place. So I need to stick with one book. But in those instances, reading something that could take you, you know, like could take you away, that was whimsical, that was an easy story to follow, you know, just very, very precious and very, very sweet, was so needed for, you know, when you have something that's so heavy. And the Spell Shop did that for me immensely. Like, wonderful character building and wonderful side characters. And this isn't a spoiler, but there is a talking plant, a talking, moving plant. And I love it so much. I love it so much. And because if you're a plant person like me, which I'm going to hopefully start doing my Emotionally Blooming podcast here, where we talk about plants and how we have bloomed in all of this, how we've come on the other side of all of our emotions, and how we've, bloomed in our world. So hopefully that'll come soon. But if you like plants like me, having a talking plant in a book that is a character, that is a side character, that is a wonderful character, that is just like you fall in love with, is the dream. It's so fun. It is so fun. Both books. So both the Spell Shop and the Enchanted Greenhouse have talking plants, and I love it so much. I love it, love it, love it, love it so much, because it's just like, I would love for one of my plants to start. Well, would I love it? I would be. I think I would be initially pretty terrified that my plant is talking to me. Let's just be honest. Like, that would be a little terrifying. However, to have a plant to reciprocate back the love that you give it, which reminds me, I need to go water my plants. Cause I love my plants. I love my garden. I love my plants that are, in my flower beds, and I have vegetable garden right now, and I have a rose bush that's gonna hopefully start blooming. I see some little buds on it. If they woke up and thanked me for all the love that I have been giving them to help them grow and nourish them, I honestly feel like that would be so amazing. I know that sounds so crazy, but it's like, it would be so fun to have this little, you say good morning. I mean, I do talk to if you don't talk to your plants, are you plant mom? I talk to my plants. I say, hey, how are you? Good morning. You doing good? If they talk back, yes, I think I would be initially pretty scared. But if I knew that's what I was going to be getting, that is just so fun. That is so fun to have, to have a plant talking to you it's just amazing. So fun. So that side character in the first book, super fun. Loved that character. And it's been a while since I read The Spell Shop, so probably not, I won't be spoiling it too much, because not that I forgot the story. I just it's been a while. I have to rethink about what it was about. But it's so funny thinking about the book, even if I couldn't remember exactly all the plot points. It's so funny that I remember how much happiness the story brought me. I remember, if somebody points it out and says, hey, did you read this? And I was like, yeah, I did. It was so good. And they'll be like, well, what was it about? And I would say, there's a talking plant, and it's really good, and it made me smile, and it gave me joy. And I think that's kind of the best review I could give, because yeah, it's not it's the story, if I remember correctly, was really well written. The book was really well, I can't say the words, well written. It had me the whole time. I read through it so quick and fast, which that gives me the indication that it's a good book. If I can just stick with it and can't put it down, it's a great book. So I remember that, and that I was smiling I'm doing that. I was smiling throughout reading the book. And I feel like you need those little breaks. You need those little books that will just, little books, meaning I don't believe they're very long. I want to say 300 and some pages. So they're not, I think, I don't know. I shouldn't don't quote me on that, but they're not very long. And there's just something so endearing and precious about a story that you can relate to on this whimsical level, that is still, in a genre that you love, but you're still getting that feel good, happy ending, and just all around joy-filled experience. And I can't recommend this author and these books enough just because of that. Like The Enchanted Greenhouse, again, plants, we got greenhouse in the title. So that in and of itself was like one of the big reasons why I was like, yes, please. I mean, the first one was great. The second one, yes, please. Like, yeah, if it's going to be just as fun and cozy and joy-filled as the first one, and it has a greenhouse, yes, yes, we are so doing that. And I can't remember the title of the third one. I know there's another book. I know she's written another book. I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm totally blanking. I should look it up and see what it was or what it is. And I do believe it's either out or coming out. I cannot remember. I apologize. But author is Sarah Beth Durst. And it is a collection. I feel like if you are looking for that joy to just kind of step away, get in your cozy little reading spot and just read something just for the happiness and the whimsy of it all. Step away, because sometimes when I'm reading a romance novel that's a guaranteed happy ending, there's still some real life issues that kind of can be triggering, can be a little heavy still for me in those books. And so, yeah, I'll read a romance, like a cute cowboy romance or I think I read a baseball romance a little bit ago. And there was still some real life things in there that were a little like, yeah, whew, that was, they went through that and blah, blah, blah. And so still it was a little difficult, even though it was beautiful and it got my happy ending. I feel like this genre, this cozy fantasy genre, really hits the mark for me personally as a reader, because fantasy is what I love, because I can totally step away. Like the main character in The Enchanted Greenhouse, she's purple. Like, I believe, yes, she's lavender. Like she's all lavender. That's her skin. She's all lavender, curly hair. I think it's brown, but I can't remember. But she's got talking plants and all the whimsy and all the things. And I just know I can totally step away and not, like it's in a fantasy world. It's totally different from anything that's going on. So I love that. But yeah, you can still see yourself in it because they're just the characters are just so relatable and they're written so well and so endearing. And yeah, it's just, I can't recommend them more. So I think in concluding here that I think it's really important, whatever genre of reading you like. So let's even go let's say that you like reading mysteries, or maybe you like reading autobiographies, or you like finding something, and I don't know what that would be for anybody, but finding something that you can cleanse, like do a cleansing read with, that will just kind of bring you a bit of joy. And maybe those do bring you, because like fantasy brings me joy. Like I love fantasy. Fantasy brings me joy. But I feel like it's a different type of joy that I'm thinking about. Like the happiness, the I'm actually giggling and smiling through the book, and just like, and when I'm finished with these cozy fantasies, I have read other ones that I can recommend if you need a recommendation. But if like I'm done with it and I put it down and that was fun. That was cute. That was fun. I had so much like happiness with that. So if you can cleanse yourself, step away from what you normally read and just read something for the pure joy and love of reading that really has no it has no, what should I say, like hardcore like stakes. There's not like a million books following, or there's not like, you're in a huge series, or, like something. I wish for you to find that. I wish for you to find what is that one particular little niche book that helps you to kind of cleanse the palate and bring you joy. Because in all that's going on in the world, in life, in things, to have something to bring you that little bit of joy is absolutely perfection. It fills that little part of you that you just like, I feel like I needed. So thank you, Sarah Beth Durst, for doing that for me, for these books, for doing that for me. And I hope that you find the joy in something that you are reading either now or soon. And I wish for you all the good things in your next read. Thank you for joining me today on the Emotionally Booked podcast. And till next time, I need to come up with a slogan. I'm still working on that. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.